I'm Robert Green. I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico. My farm is called Casa Verde Farm. I planted the orchard because I wanted to eat the fruit. It was not my intent in planting it to sell it. You would probably not even be able to eat all the fruit from one good peach tree.
That's why people started drying fruit, so they could eat it later on in the year. Today you might be tasting these 4 dried fruits: apples, apricots, plums, and cherries. Many other fruits can be dried as well. Here are some dried mangoes, dates, and grapes. Dried grapes are more commonly called raisins. Now we're going to visit Mr. Green. He grows many types of fruit trees in Las Cruces. Listen to what happened to his apricot crop.
This tree was absolutely covered with fruit. And I had to go on vacation while it was getting ripe, and we missed most of it.
Did you see what was hanging in the tree?
If you put the owl decoy in the tree and move it every day, it will sometimes discourage the birds a little. But if you don't move it, it won't.
In addition to drying, there are many ways to prepare apricots.
We usually either can or freeze them, and we occasionally make apricot jam. Apricots are the easiest things to process because you don't have to peel them, and they're really easy to get off of the seed.
Now let's look at some plum trees. Mr. Green harvested his trees 1 month ago.
These 2 trees are plum trees. This is a yellow plum, that is a red plum. Late June probably is when I have the plum and the apricot harvest.
Here is a different tree in someone's backyard. You can see that it's just loaded with plums. It would be hard for one family to eat all this fruit at one time. By drying the plums, they could save them to enjoy later in the year. Dried plums are also called prunes. Now we'll take a quick trip to Mr. Chapman's farm near Aztec to see how cherries grow. Here are some unripe cherries. He also has another tree with ripe cherries on it. It takes the Chapmans about 6 hours to dry these cherries using an electric dehydrator.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
Near Española, Mr. Bustos also has a cherry tree. This variety is tart, so the cherries aren't very sweet. Now let's take a look at how apples grow. Back in Las Cruces, Mr. Green grows 9 different varieties.
This apple tree is a red Fuji. The apples are green because they're not ripe.
This is the fruit picker that Mr. Green uses. Other fruits can be dried too, including peaches. Mr. Green has several kinds of peach trees. Let's start with those that don't have ripe fruit on them.
This tree is a white cling peach that came up in my garden. It gets ripe late, so I have peaches available over a long period. These will be ripe in about a month, and these over here will be ripe in about 2 months.
This is what an unripe peach looks like. If you felt it,
it will be hard and it's a little fuzzy. This is a tree that came up from seed in my yard when I lived in town, and they will get ripe in August, and they will be a lot bigger than that and the sweetest and juiciest you ever tasted. And they are extremely soft, so that they are not good for marketing. but they are the best tasting I've ever eaten. And this tree that you see here is 40 years old. And peach trees here normally live about 15 or 20 years.
This is such a wonderful tree that Mr. Green wants to reproduce it.
To graft trees, normally you grow something for rootstock. You cut that off fairly close to the ground and insert a limb from this. And if it works right, that will grow and be the tree. And that's the way nearly all of these trees were started, was from a graft. You can reproduce it as many times as you want to by grafting. You can't do that by planting seed. These are the ripe peaches, and you can see the ones that the birds have eaten off of. You will find that these peaches are quite ripe, even though they're firm. This particular variety is called Red Haven, and it's one of the earliest ripening yellow freestone peaches. Freestone means that you can pull the peach apart and it will come loose from the seed.
Apricots look similar when you break them open. However, they're more closely related to plums.
Look, taste it.
It almost tastes a little bit like, if you can imagine, peach perfume. That doesn't sound very good, but that's sort of what it reminds me of. It's delicious, and it's very firm, so it's not getting my hand all juicy, but it still tastes like a peach.
I would think it would work fine for drying.
Dried fruit is a healthy treat you can eat throughout the year. I hope you're enjoying the 4 types that you're trying today.